From Lynbrook Bowl in Brooklyn Center, Minnesota, it's time for the Linds Tournament of Champions right here on Cable 12. Cable 12 Events presents the CBA Linds Tournament of Champions. This is the stepladder final coming your way on January 12th, 1997. Hello, everyone. I'm Dave Kaiser. Joining me again, Tom Corbett from the CBA. Welcome again, Tom.
Hi, Dave.
We should have a great tournament today. Out of our top 5 bowlers, they have 10 titles. And to even be able to bowl in this tournament, the bowlers have had to have a title sometime in the past. Through 7 tournaments this year, 3 of the 5 bowlers you'll see today are within the top 6 in point standing. So we have some very good bowlers. Why don't you introduce the 5 to us?
Our tournament leader today right now is Brad Larson. He's from Oakdale. He is the leading point getter so far this 96-97 season. Our second place bowler is from Rochester, Rob Downer. He hasn't bowling too much this year, but as in the past he has. The third place bowler is David Langer. We've seen him all 3 or 4 times on these shows, so it's fun to watch. Dave Lutz from Woodbury. He's only bowled a couple this year, but he's got 5 CBA titles, more than anybody else in this championship match. And our fifth bowler is Bob Klatt from Prior Lake, and he was on the TV show with Errol Brown.
Dave Kaiser and Tom Corbett back at Lynbrook Bowl in Brooklyn Center. We want to say thank you to Steve Nelson and his staff here at Lynbrook Bowl for hosting the tournament today, allowing us to bring the cables and lights in. And Tom, we have a few other sponsors that help make this tournament possible.
Yes, we do. Our big one is the Linds Shoe Company. As I see the banner that's right above the championship pair that we're using here. Walt Maurer from the Linds Shoe Company is here today. He's gonna, you'll be with us donating a pair of shoes and, of course, $1,000 to this tournament. Mike's Pro Shop, located in St. Paul, who donates all the award plaques for all the champions. Been doing that since 1971. The On Track Pro Shop, there's 3 of them, one at Midway Pro Bowl, one at Texatonka Lanes, and one at Cedarville Lanes, that donate free entries and bowling balls to a lot of our tournaments. Dunes Pro Shop is donating a bowling ball today to be given away to one of the spectators that are watching us today. And of course I mentioned Chris Harrison Tile for a 300 game award. So we have quite a bit of people who help out this CBA organization.
Match number 3 now underway. Klatt continues as he has a 255 and a 224 to win the first 2 matches over Lutz and Langer. And now we get a first look at Rob Downer. He is from Rochester. He has 2 past titles, but not a whole lot of bowling lately. But that didn't stop him from competing very well today. No, and a big difference in styles of this bowler right here, too. Very straight and very deliberate and very accurate. And he just keeps the ball right in the pocket there, and he'll normally either leaves a 10-pin or gets a strike. So, and he was the leader through much of the day. In fact, Tom had a good lead throughout the day. Yes, he did. And you watch that shot by Rob, which is just sort of solid in the pocket. All 10 pins went down, and well, Brad Larson shooting 257 in the position around game to overtake him. Otherwise, he would have been bowling for the 1 game for the title. Now he wants to win this and get another chance at Brad Larson. Both bowlers starting with strikes. Downer in the second frame. And there you see what Tom mentioned. Not a whole lot of change in his shot. Very consistent and very accurate. Yes, just solid in the pocket, and it's the old time where the ball takes out the 1, 3, 5, and 9, and the other pins do their job, and they all just go down into the pit. Where you see some of Bob's and a lot of David Langer's where you'd be the light and pins are going to slide around or 444. Rob is very accurate, and not to say that Bob Klatt isn't accurate either. He's different type of accurate. Different type of one, yes. Well, he heads down about 2-3 lanes to run that one out. It was a light. He didn't think he was going to get back to carry it, but. You don't have to be perfect all the time. They will fall down. That's right. If they don't, you have to say, well, maybe it was a lucky or something. So you can't get too upset over pins when they don't fall. And again, we are at the Tournament of Champions. And last year, we were at Village North. Actually, it was in this past May. And it was 5 different bowlers. So completely new blood in the you're correct. Ladder this time. A couple of those bowlers, Carl Fytek, who won the Tournament Champions last year, and Scott Pohl, who was, I think, 3rd, and Sam Lanto, who was 2nd. Neither one of those 3 bowlers could even bowl today. So a lot of these guys were probably happy that they weren't here. Were they trapped in the Dakotas? 2 of them went to Las Vegas to bowl in the tournament. Okay. And I'm not sure where the other one went, but they couldn't be here, and they hated to miss it. Downer after 2 strikes gets the 3, and we're clean for both bowlers through 3 frames. All 3 strikes for each one of them. This would be a high-scoring match here. These 2 did meet earlier in the day, and Downer stuck at 2 Klatt in that game. And I'm sure he'd want us to rub this in a little bit. It was 268 to 189. Oh, Bob doesn't want to hear that. It's a whole different game. That's right. A lot earlier in the day, and
He's not going to have 189 right now. Well, Rob averaged almost, I think it was 237 for his 12 games today. That one looks like he kind of got around it a little bit too much and just got it in a little tighter. But just the 4-pin should be an easy cross lane spare for Rob.
He knew when he let it go. He almost tried to grab it and bring it back.
Yes. Probably just missed his, probably missed about maybe a board or two left of where he was aiming at. But just grab the same ball, steady, walk up there, and just pick it up.
After 6 strikes, our first spare of the match. Now Klatt gets back up, and he will head over to lane 7. Yeah, I'll make that lane 8.
He fooled you up there.
And a chance to put together 4 in a row and take the early lead in this match.
Looks good. You're pretty happy with that. Maybe that 6-pin just kind of come off the wall and knock over the 10.
The winner here going up against Brad Larson, the tournament leader, again, as Tom mentioned, bowled a 257 in that last round to move up from the 3rd spot to the 1st spot, which means he only has to bowl 1 game.
He only has to bowl 1 game for the title. Brett was 2nd in November in Eau Claire tournament, and I believe 2 years ago when we were here at Lynbrook for the Tournament of Champions, I think he was 3rd in that tournament. So, and he is the leading point getter, and he's been bowling the best of anybody this year, so he wants to win. But so do both these guys right here too. So Bob is getting pretty aggressive right there now. He got a lot on that ball. It was hooking pretty good. I think he feels he got away with something there because it did finish a little higher in the pocket. But there's Rob Downer now. That last shot he left to a 4-pin is a little bit high. He won't do anything. He won't change at all. I think he just knows that he got it in a little bit and doesn't have to move on the lane. And well, no, maybe it did bother him.
It looked like he might have compensated a little bit. That obviously stayed way out.
Maybe he thought that they were breaking down a little bit or something, but he made sure he got that one out, and that could be a big mistake here. See if we can watch this shot here by Rob and see if we can pick up anything that he did. Kind of hard to see.
Looks like it was close to 2nd arrow, but just stayed out.
He might have just thrown it a little bit harder because the other one maybe hooked a little sooner and he left that 4-pin, so he just threw it a little bit harder to try to compensate for that. But very accurate, like I say, and pick up that spare.
Glances up at the score. The key now, obviously, is to get back on that strike roll because Klatt is perfect through 5.
Yeah, Rob is very deliberate, just takes his time, sets himself in the same spot all the time, which all these bowlers do. They pick out a board on the approach and an arrow that they want to shoot at down the lane. And sometimes you have to move a little bit left as they hook a little bit more, maybe move a little bit right if they hook a little bit less. Like I say, they're pretty accurate. That's a good shot to come back with after those 2 spares. It will be a high-scoring match, so spares would not win it, but you don't want to give them up either. Perfect. And Bob going for his 6th one in a row here now. And I don't know if we mentioned again about the 300 game, the $500 prize for a 300 game in the stepladder finals here. He's not thinking about that right now. He just wants to go 1 shot at a time. He wouldn't think about that until you get to the 9th or 10th frame. But, and make sure you have the game well in hand before you think about that.
Brad Larson warming up just a few lanes down. He will be coming up next. Another smooth right-hander. Very similar style to Bob Klatt.
Except he hooks the ball quite a bit more, and he can. Brad Larson can do a lot of different things at different releases with his hand. He can either hook the ball out, throw it straighter, whatever he has to do to get the job done, he can do, and he is one really good bowler. Let's see if Bob can get the 7th one here. Yes, he did. That lane might be hooking a little bit more because that was a little bit higher in the pocket, but he's staying aggressive. Hey, watch this shot here by Bob. It's getting a little bit higher. You can see the ball, but then it just settles right in, and Headpin takes out the 2, 4, and the 7. So
Downer 117 through 5 with a strike in the 6th. All he can do is hope to keep throwing the ball in there, get some strikes, and watch Klatt.
Exactly. Well, Rob can strike out with 267, but of course with Bob having the first 7, can get a little bit more than that. So Rob has to make sure he keeps on striking, to put a little bit more pressure on Bob, and hope that Bob doesn't, of course, get all of them and doesn't have a chance to win them.
Downer in his last 3 games, 227, 234, and then a 192 in the game against Langer.
That had to be the worst game he had in those 2 days, I believe.
think you're right.
Another really good shot.
653 series in those last games. Looking back to yesterday, high of 267, 248, finished with a 236, 256, and as we mentioned,
Yes, he averaged 228 for those 10 games yesterday,
Right.
and 237 he averaged today. So
carried himself very well through yesterday and into today, but he has run up against a very hot bowler in Bob Klatt.
well, how's it look for the 8th one? Good shot.
He liked it when he put it down.
Well, there's 8. There's 4 more to go. I wonder if he can do this. That was a really good shot too. He's getting really aggressive. He's catching the ball with his fingers and getting a good roll on the ball, and he's solid at the line. And right now he's doing everything right. I'm curious to see what's going to happen on this one. If he can get this one, I think he's got a real good chance at that 300, because this is the lane that hooks a little bit more. And I'm not sure if he's going to adjust off that last shot. Just make sure he stays aggressive though. Got all of it. Good fingers on the ball. Great shot.
Okay, you're allowed to get a little excited
Yes.
after 9, aren't you?
Yes, you are. Let's hope we can see what he looks like after 12.
That's right. Good for Bob. That was a very nice shot, and he
Yes,
has
watch
been
it.
right there.
That's perfect. Well, situation, he hasn't won the match yet, because if Rob can strike out here, you have 267, and which means Bob would have to hit 9 pins for 267 also. So, well, took care of that. Now Bob has the match won. He doesn't have to worry about getting up to 10th frame to do anything but just think about the 300 game, and I'm sure he's thinking about that now. He's probably walking over a little bit, trying to psych himself up for that. Rob just threw down a little bit too hard. Maybe caught up in the excitement of watching Bob and wasn't thinking of his own there. So.
Right. A little tough when you've got someone putting together all those strikes, and Klatt has moved down a few lanes. Taking a little breather here. Downer will finish up now in the 10th. Again, solid on those spares. That's 193 in the 8th.
Well, he can strike out for 243, which is not a bad game.
No, it's tough to lose with the 243, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Bob just has to sit on the bench and wait for Rob to get done, as that's we required that to be done in our stepladder finals. The bowlers who are up there bowling have both lanes to themselves, and the other bowler can't go up there and get in his way. So, Bob just has to wait his turn and try to stay focused and just go up there and just throw the ball the same way he's been doing it for the first 9 strikes.
Is Rob going to bowl a little bit more once this tournament is passed? Have you talked to him about that?
Yes, I think he is. He bowled, I think this is his 3rd one now in a row. He bowled November, December in this one, and then he's signed up for, we have one at the end of January at Maplewood Bowl. In February we go down to Apple Place, and in March we go up to Duluth.
Well, I'm sure this has given him the confidence back that he can compete with everyone here, because he has bowled very well.
Yes, he has. And he is a good bowler, and he bowls for the Linds Classic team out of Rochester. They have a 10-man traveling team, and I've talked to a couple guys today who just telling me how they weren't surprised to see Rob up there today because he is so accurate. So, well, he finishes with 232. So the only thing we have to decide here now is what kind of score Bob's going to end up with. And of all the times people get into this spot after the first 9, this is the crucial one. Getting that first one in the 10th always seems to loosen you up then.
And he has been very solid on lane 8, which is where he is right now.
Oh, looks really good. It looks good. Yes, there's 10. Well, the crowd is getting into it. They're all standing behind you. We've never been this close on a TV show. That was a really good shot. When you get up to 10th, you throw a ball that good, you are pretty locked in. We have had 2 300s in the stepladder finals in the history of the CBA. One was at Eau Claire about 4 years ago. We gave away $5,000 for that. We had an insurance policy for it. And the other one we had was a name Tim Mayer up in Duluth. didn't get any money for it because we didn't have anybody donate any money. But he shot 300 to Brad Larson's 279. That was the highest scoring TV or stepladder match we ever had.
Klatt for number 11.
He caught all of that one too. That was a great shot. I'm not sure if Bob knows that there's a $500 award for this. I won't tell him yet.
Yeah, don't say it now, whatever you do.
That was perfect too.
And the crowd is drawn a little closer here. Now I think
I think he had to make himself a little joke to try to loosen himself up. I'm not sure if Chris Harrison is watching this, but he does live in Brooklyn Park, and it's the Chris Harrison Tile Company who donated, like I said, $500 worth. And it's, I think he put that money up 2 years ago, and we haven't had anybody close since then. Let's see if we can do it. I think a good release. Looks good. Yes.
he's got it.
Yes.
And where did he go? There he is.
$500. The crowd really likes that. It's been a long time since we've ever seen it. That was good.
And all of the shots looked like that.
Yes, they were.
That is the beauty of that game.
Shooting the 300 in stepladder final, Bob receives the Harrison Tile bonus of an extra $500.
Enjoy the moment.
Watch his 12th shot again. I'll give Bob a copy of this tape, that's for sure. In slow motion.
Can I get a print out of that?
Watch it. You couldn't really ask for any better of a shot there in the 12th one. That was perfect.
They all looked like that. He had one that was a little bit high on lane 7 early in the game.
Yes.
But after that, nothing but strikes. So
Okay, and our runner-up. Average yesterday for his 10 games, 222. Average 215 for his 12 games today, winning 7 matches, winning 3 matches on TV, and of course, their third ever 300 game in the stepladder finals. We'll get to that in a second. We got $750, one previous CBA title for Bob Klatt from Prior Lake.
And Bob has to hang out for a minute here.
Stick around up here, Bob.
A little more to do for Bob here.
Bob, come here a minute. We also have $500 donated from Chris Harrison from Chris Harrison Tile Company for a 300 game in the stepladder finals. And one question I want to ask you: we got up in the 10th frame. Were you thinking about that at all?
I was going to come up and ask you if the money was available. I didn't know for this tournament if it was or not. And I do want to thank the Harrison Tile Company for their sponsorship. No question, I was thinking of the money, but more importantly, I was just thinking of one shot, keeping my speed, and that's basically what was in my mind. That was it.
Well, it worked. They were perfect, and it was really fun to see and fun to watch. And I hope you can do it again.
Thanks a lot, Tom. I
Bob,
appreciate
one other
it.
quick question about that last game then. The feeling after 300, then having to bowl one more game. How tough was that?
I was about ready to go watch the Packer game. I had a hard time grabbing the ball the last game. Then I'm up against a tough opponent, you know, a great champion like Brad Larson. I just give him credit. I mean, I think I ran out of fuel, and he bowled a match he deserved to win. And I'm just happy to be here, and I want to thank the Nelson people here at Lynbrook Bowl. Thanks for having us here at the tournament. You did a great job. And I want to thank Linds Shoes. I switched to Linds bowling shoes about a month ago or a couple months ago, and these are the things that happen when you wear Linds shoes. So I appreciate it.
What an endorsement.
Thanks, Bob.